Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show. It is Sunday, August the 5th, 2018. It is yours truly, David McCaig, and I am live on location at Northern Superior Brewery on 50 Pimp Street. And let me tell you, it's the first show here on Northern Superior, the debut show of the brewery, as you all would have saw on social media, on the brewery's social media pages, and on the Game Sports Show website, previous shows and social media pages as well. You're currently listening to the Game Sports Show on thegamesportshow.podbean.com or on our website, www.thegamesportshow.com. We want to thank you, the listeners, for stopping on by and making us a part of your day. And for today's show, it is going to be yours truly, in the words of Jason Derulo, riding solo. I do have a special guest, an individual who stuck out his neck for me, I'd like to say, Trevor Zachary, is going to be coming on the show in just a few moments to discuss some of the local hockey with the Thunderbirds and some events with the brewery. And I also want to give a shout out to our board operator here tonight, as always, Scott Nason. And in front of me right now, one of our great volunteers and assets to the show, Matt Lematania as well, who is present, who will not be on the show because I don't allow him on the microphone, but he will be here in presence as well. We are inside the brewery for our show, our launch show here today, just in the case of rain that may happen. That's why we came inside the brewery, and just for yourself being solo, we do plan to do some of the special edition shows out on the pier. And then Northern Superior Brewery, as we announced on the show a couple weeks ago, we will be doing the show every Thursday starting after the long weekend in September at 7:30 live on location, where we hope to have live on air and also podcasted as well, where the live air portion will be the local hockey presence with the Thunderbirds and also the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, where the second hour will be professional hockey and even some professional baseball news if it gets to that as well. And here on the Game Sports Show on the North Superior edition, it's basically going to be coming back in from our previous sponsor, Boston Pizza, where we did our farewell show on the 29th from Boston Pizza, where we discussed hockey, baseball, and brought in golf, since Silver Creek is tied into that show as well. And that will be the continued agenda for this show as well. And to get through the great list of sponsors that we have here on the Game Sports Show, obviously, Northern Superior Brewery, Sports Center Bar and Grill, Silver Creek Golf Course here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, being the homes to the Game Sports Show. Also here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Northern Quitters in Need, Big Brother, Big Sister, Sault Ste. Marie, Northern Signs, North Shore Sports and Auto, Discover the Canvas, Superior Pro Shop, The Salon, and KBX Hockey. And over in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, the Wicked Sister, a home to the Game Sports Show as well, and also Pingator Cleaners. And since you're on our website, if that's one part of the show that you listen to, don't hesitate to veer over to the merchandise section, where you can click on and see the Game Sports Show attire that I am actually currently wearing here on location at Northern Superior Brewery. You can purchase a t-shirt for $25. You just email the Game Sports Show ssm@gmail.com, state the amount of shirts and sizes that you require. And you can also, in the very near future, see some shirts on location of the homes of the Game Sports Show, and you can fill out forms as well to get your order in for the great merchandise that we have. Now, going through today's agenda, as I mentioned, Trevor Zachary will be coming on by in just a few moments. Well, he is by here all the time because he basically lives here at the brewery. But also, today on the Game Sports Show edition of Northern Superior Brewery, we're going to be discussing some NHL updates as well, with William Karlsson re-signing with the Las Vegas Golden Knights, Ottawa Senators having to open up their wallets to Cody Ceci and Mark Stone, Jeff Skinner, surprise trade to the Buffalo Sabres, along with some Toronto Maple Leaf discussion as well. And then in the second part of the show, after this introduction portion, we'll be talking about some Blue Jays update as well. I got a lot of reaction to provide, especially those Toronto Blue Jays trading Roberto Osuna. Definitely a sticky situation there. So that's going to be on today's version of the Game Sports Show. And going into this week, we're going to have a show tomorrow at the Wicked Sister, myself and Scott Nason. And Tuesday, we will be at Silver Creek Golf Course. And then we will be back here at Northern Superior Brewery next Sunday, as we have some schedule alterations due to yours truly having to go to a wedding this weekend in Niagara Falls. And let me tell you, speaking of open up wallets, there's my wallet that's being opened up there. But of course, one of my good friends, Josh Cherasolo, getting married. It'll be a very exciting weekend for himself and his bride, Shanna Swain. I got to say sorry to them quickly, as yours truly, I'm sure you guys are going to laugh here at the table, had to go get a custom suit from Moores. I went in Moores in March to get it fitted. I thought you were able to pay for the suit afterwards, after the suit arrived, but since it's a custom suit, you have to pay it right away. I didn't know this. I went about almost 2 weeks ago to go pay for the suit to pick it up, and it wasn't even ordered yet. And it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for a suit to come in. So at that point, this wedding was under 2 weeks away from me having to go, and I got to say thanks to Aldo Fabro, as he has saw my face lots at Moore's ever since, because I was in hot water absolutely with Josh and Shanna not getting that suit on time. But apparently the suit will make it in early this week before I leave, and I gotta say thanks to Aldo for that and the great work over there at Moore's. So without further ado, I'll discuss more of the show's agenda for the year going forward at the conclusion of the show. I'm going to bring in a good friend of mine, and as I said, somebody who I like to say stuck out his neck for me to bring the show here to Northern Superior Brewery. And maybe I'm being a little too harsh on myself there for that. But, we are very excited to have Northern Superior Brewery a part of the Game Sports Show. It's been teased, and it was probably the worst kept secret in Sault Ste. Marie, to be honest, based on the big mouths I like to say that we have on the panel here. And, on behalf of Justin Heiko and Brad Cochmilio, whom aren't here today as well, but also other cast members of the Game Sports Show, I want to say thank you for bringing us aboard, Trevor. And we're excited to have this partnership going forward, and especially with the big plans that we have September going forward as well. So I want to say thanks for coming on by, and how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. It's good to be a part of this. It's our pleasure, to be a host and to be part of the show, with regards to Northern Superior Brewing Company, and we're looking forward to it. It's exciting for us. It's something new. It's something a little bit different, and we're looking forward to the feedback from the listeners as well on the brew and all things sports.
Definitely big, especially with local presence. We want to have that local presence that defines your company, that defines our sports show. We all started this sports show just talking football, to be honest, and that over in Sault, Ontario. In Sault, Michigan, it's always been variety, but Sault, Ontario started football, then it branched off into hockey, because you know me, I'm a hockey guy. Yeah. Football is not really my criteria at the time. Now it's more, but now it's big to have that local presence, and being able to partner up with you. That just defines everything that the show has for its objectives. Awesome. So definitely great, and we couldn't be more pleased to have you on. And obviously with Pier 55. That is, you got to talk about that for a second. That is the coolest, I got to say, the coolest idea. You got the water presence there, you got the Bush Plane Museum, you got the brewing company here, you got some great beer there. It's great atmosphere as well. You also have food there as well that you can purchase. And a little barbecue going, nothing better than some barbecue sausages and food. And you guys have that. I know you're going to get into the hours of that shortly, but it's such a great idea to have that. And you got to get out there and sit your rear ends on that deck up there and enjoy the sun while it's still here in the Sioux.
Right on. Yeah, you know what? It was a great idea by the owner. They decided, hey, let's bring something in. We had a little piece of property right across from the brewery, so we brought in a building, and it's got a beautiful deck on it. And that's just it. You're sitting and looking out over the water. It's a great location. We're open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Fridays from usually 5 until about 10. Saturdays noon until about 10. And then Sundays, same deal, noon until about 10. It's all weather permitting as well, because of the rain and whatnot. So, but it's that certainly has helped with sales and just exposure. It's right on the Hub Trail, which is cool. A lot of people just taking a walk and stopping by and grabbing a brew. Yep. So it's been nice. It's and with this summer, I mean, like I had posted on social media, it got hot out, and we wanted somewhere outdoors to be able to have a beer or two, and so it's worked out real well for us. Yeah.
Oh, the pier is definitely a cool idea. I know Matt is over there across the table from us shaking his head right now. I like nodding his head. Sorry, not shaking his head, nodding his head. I correct myself. But definitely with there's having that outdoor presence in the summer is, I think, having the certain types of bars open up like that, or kind of areas to open like that. Like those other places in town that I will say, the Delta has something outdoors. I know Main Street has their hair salon that they open out an outdoor patio. You got to enjoy the summer while it's here, because it's so short-lived here in Sault Ste. Marie. Especially this summer's been amazing. It's since June. There's been minimal cloudy days. It's definitely been one of the hottest summers that I can recall since I was in my early teens. But it's definitely great to come on by and obviously enjoy the great product that you have. You have many beers that you have available, and they're obviously around town as well. Wacky Wings, Geno's, the Canadian.
Yeah,
The Canadian. There's many places
Oh,
that I probably missed as well. So
Yeah.
definitely got to enjoy some of the product that they have. It's the best beer around.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Trev, we'll jump in, though, to the hockey side of things, and jump in with the Sioux Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
I want you to come out, promote some of the stuff that you have going on with the Sioux Thunderbirds, some potential ideas. And I know puck drop for the junior team is September the 7th against the Sioux Eagles. Will be at home here at the John Rhodes. The roster will be announced at the end of August. So I know we don't have a roster that we can list at this current time. I know you've had some, you're going to have the camp going on the August the 20th, I think it is. But I'll let you dive in about the Thunderbirds news.
All right, great. Yeah, you know what? We're excited to get things going again. We had a great season last year, second round of the playoffs, and nearly advancing there. So we're looking forward to this season. We have a lot of local players returning once again. Stephen Bellini, Tristan Cichello. And then we've got some forwards as well. Brendan Miller from the USA side. We've got. We're looking at Noah Bowman again coming in to the team. He played out of town last year. We're hoping to get him in town this year. September 7th we open up against the Eagles, and then we're on the road on the Sunday against Rayside, which was our big rivalry last year. So we start camp August 21st. Yeah, we'll run that for a few days. We'll probably cut down. Camp's been invite only because of the interest for the club this year. We got a lot of kids that are really interested from out of town. We've just signed a excellent goaltender from down in Wisconsin. So the coaching staff, Coach Parco and Dezano and Kovacs, guys have been working hard at bringing in some players. And then I've just been trying to get things ready on the business side and ready to launch for the 7th of September.
Fast approaching. That's what I gotta say. It feels like yesterday that the junior season here locally and the professional season was just completed. And at that, it seems blink of an eye, baseball season goes by. Now it's time for hockey to discuss some hockey. So, the Thunderbirds have such a presence here locally, and a lot of people, Trev, and I've talked about this with Brad and Justin, who, like as I mentioned, couldn't make it here today. But the local presence in Sault Ste. Marie with hockey, a lot of people have said that it's deterred, it's descended. That's what a lot of people have said, especially with the youth side, which doesn't really refer to the Sault Thunderbirds side because being more the junior hockey. But the Sault Thunderbirds as an organization is definitely a prized and a recognized organization. I like to say within Canada because of the amount of the accolades that they have accumulated over the years, and a lot of the players that have come out of there, and a lot of the players that didn't even make it places otherwise than here, but a lot of players that could have. Like you look at, you had Jerry Patingolo here. There was a friend of mine who had his number retired. God bless him, but Michael Dolan, one of the great goalies to come out of here in Sault Ste. Marie. But a lot of good talent has been played out of for the Sault Thunderbirds, and it's championship or bust was always the way it seemed with the Thunderbirds. But now with having the ownership that brought on board, having you guys, yes, that is the goal, ultimately to win a championship, but also to develop these kids and get them to the next level. That is the most important part, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, that is really, we're kind of happier to see guys go to another level, graduate. At the end of the day, it's always about championships. And of course, you're building a team, to win. But for us, the main goal is always to get these players to play at another level. Whether it's school, whether it's Division III, whether it's Division I, whether it's the OHL. I mean, we're lucky enough to have a good relationship with the Sioux Greyhounds, as well as Saginaw and some other OHL teams. So that certainly helps, and it certainly helped us out in the last few years with some of the players that we've been able to, have play for us for a season. But yeah, development is the number one goal, and then usually the rest of it takes care of itself. We are about championships, though. There's no question about it, and we want to win a championship. And the Dudley this year's in Cochrane. There's going to be 2 teams out of the NJHL, which is kind of exciting. Yep. We feel like we can be there. We'll see how camp goes, and then we'll go from there.
Now, the question I want to ask, because a lot of people, I had some listeners want me to ask about the new I guess, look of the Thunderbirds that went into last season was when the new look was launched, right? It was the year previous to that. It was last season. Yep. And a lot of people look at the rebranding of the Thunderbirds, which is the term I was looking for just a few moments ago. But what I know, the owner has come over from Edmonton, I believe. Was that the new owner has moved in from Edmonton? But what came about with the new rebranding? Was it just simply just restarting fresh, or was it just that it needed that look, do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I just feel like there's nothing wrong with a fresh new look. Certainly, Mr. Smeal has ties to Alberta. That's where he's originally from. Yeah. He billeted Darnell Nurse for a few years. Nice. So certainly appreciates the colors of the Edmonton Oilers. Yes. And that's, that doesn't have everything to do with it, but that has, something probably to do with that. We tried to keep it, somewhat similar. We do have some branding that's out there that is, the old Sioux Thunderbird branding that you'll see. But yeah, for the most part, it was just more or less that, just kind of like a fresh start, and we'll see where that takes us. We have a third promo jersey as well, and the guys can't get enough of it. It's an orange jersey with the. With a logo that Bobby Smithers created for us, and I wasn't a fan of it to begin with, and I can't keep it in, on merchandise fast enough. The guys love it. They'd rather wear that jersey every game if they could, which, the league, has us wearing certain colors at certain times, so you can't do it all the time. But you'll certainly see us in the oranges jerseys a lot more this season than before. It's something fun. It's nothing about with the old branding and the old logo, because that was great, and it's recognizable around the country. There's no question about it. The name itself. We have kids calling us still who want to play for the Sioux Thunderbirds from all over the U.S. and all over Canada, and it says a lot to what the guys have done in the past with this club. 20 years of Sioux Thunderbirds. We're celebrating the anniversary this year. We're looking at doing an alumni weekend coming up at some point soon, probably in September, that we'll announce real shortly on our social media, and we'll probably be talking about it quite a bit on the radio show. So yeah, it's just exciting. It's exciting for us. It's exciting for the new fans. I'm really trying to work with the younger kids and trying to get them to really appreciate the new brand. And get them out to the games. That's really what it's about. When you have a junior club in your city, the Sioux Greyhounds, it's not always easy to get fans out to your games. So we're going to work extra hard this year like we did last year. And, I feel like we'll get there.
I think so, absolutely. You got to get out. That's what I want to say. Locally, everyone's always wondering what to do when it comes to the winter, because after summer, the camping's closed. Certain bars are closed in town that people like to enjoy, where I think you have limited options to go to bars in Sault Ste. Marie anyways to begin with. But, a lot of the outdoor activity, people think, it's wintertime, I'm going to stay inside. Definitely not. Get out to the John Roads, get out to the Green for Life. Sorry, that's the new arena. I have still tendencies to say SR Center. But, the Hounds. But you got to get out and watch the Sioux Thunderbirds. Always exciting hockey. Always very, very exciting hockey. So you got to get out to the John Roads and definitely support that. And, one thing I got to say, and I got to ask if the kids are still saying this in the Thunderbirds. When I played for the Birds, there was always a saying, T-Bot. Yeah. Thunderbirds on top. Is that still a thing there?
You know what? We still see it on some of the old merch and whatnot, but we only have a couple players now who played, part of that group. Kaden McDonald is still with us. So it's one of those things that I'm not going to say it's fading away, because we really, we were such a new club with so many new faces last year in the lineup that we weren't really familiar with it. But like I say, I still see it on the merch. I still see it on a lot of the, a lot of the stuff. So, and I get a kick out of it when we see it.
Well, it's definitely funny. It all started back before even I started playing there, and it was definitely a time. I know Jerry still. I know he was considering getting that tattooed on his sleeve. I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but you know what? Thunderbirds definitely. Now, any kind of promotions in the year? Like, do you have any games where you have certain giveaways, or do you have giveaways certain games? I know you sell merchandise during the games. You have season tickets available as well, and the Game Sports Show T-shirts will be there this year as well to order as well. But do you have like any promotions this I know some teams, they have bobblehead nights some nights, which I know isn't going to be how the Thunderbirds, but, is there, do you have certain nights or promotions that you can think of?
Well, we do a lot of the charity, promotional evenings, breast cancer awareness, and we do one for the Lung Association, and So we try to run those on a regular basis. We do sponsor nights too for our local sponsors. So basically, if you're sponsoring the club, you can come down, you can set up in the lobby, you can do giveaways and stuff like that. So I always, I'm trying to give back a little bit to these sponsors who provide so much to us. I mean, we can't exist if we don't have the sponsorship. It's unbelievably, as you know, important to keep programs running. And for us, we need $50,000 to $75,000 in sponsorship every year just to put a team on the ice. So it's imperative that we return the favor, and any chance I get with the sponsors, to make announcements during the game, to do giveaways. Subway does the 3-star awards for us, which is phenomenal. The Jones family have generously donated, gift certificates for the players, even from the other team. We give them away for the 3 stars every game. So it's stuff like that we'll continue to do, and I try at least every second game to do a nice promo. We also do we bring the young kids in. We have them play at intermissions now, so we did that about 8 times last year, and it went over real well. So we're hoping to do that almost at every home game this year, where they're playing at intermission, and we give them pucks, and that helps as well. We put them upstairs in the restaurant, and then we go from there. So all those things help.
Definitely that local presence the Thunderbirds have always had, alongside with the Hounds as well. But it's definitely looking forward to the border rivalry this year. And I got to say that in particular because Eagle 95.1, who originally started this show 4 years ago called Coffee with the Coach with Scott Nason. And then after that one, yours truly, when I was lucky to be brought on board, that was my first thing, was changing the name. Sorry, Scotty, definitely didn't like that name. So happy that it's called The Game. But then now when it branched over in Sioux, Ontario, it always brought forth a fun little rivalry between me and Scott Nason to discuss on radio about the Thunderbirds and Eagles. And, this year, we're definitely looking forward to a little bit more some border rival and coverage that the Game Sports Show will have on location at Thunderbird games, and we're also going to have coverage with yours truly and or Scott Nason with the Eagles and the Thunderbird games over the river as well. There might even be a fun little bet on the game where you can place your bets, not like a money bet. You can maybe have a poll where you're going to predict who wins what game, and the Game Sports Show, along with the sponsors of the Game Sports Show, might win a prize courtesy of that as well. And maybe vote the Thunderbirds, maybe vote the Eagles. I'm not sure. I know Trevor's going to lean towards the Thunderbirds, but definitely makes for some fun, especially on the fan end. And like I said, get your rear ends out to the John Rhodes Community Center to enjoy some great hockey. Now, it's Dave McKaig alongside Trevor Zachary. We're discussing the junior Thunderbirds, and we're also discussing a little stuff with the Northern Spirit Brewing Company. But also, I'm going to give a little announcement too. This is more towards Jamie Henderson, but also obviously with us and the Sioux Thunderbirds here as well. The Sioux Thunderbirds minor midget AAA team was announced, as saw on their Facebook page. Don't hesitate to follow the Brewing Company's Facebook page along with the Sioux Thunderbirds Facebook page as well. You could get all the information there as well, that if you miss anything here on the show or the website, you can look on social media as well. But to state the roster, and congratulations to these players, starting with forwards, we're going to go with Austin Mortimer, Stefan Pajneshny, Ethan Novello, and I got to say, as I continue here, if I butcher any last names, I definitely apologize. Gavin Ridico, Nathan Rowe, Jake Kovacs, Emmerich DeChamplain, Nixon Zalanko, Caleb Bolin, also Carson Barnes, Dylan Sabato, also Theo Smith. Those are the forwards for the minor midget AAA. Also Jack Matier, Tyler Dunbar, Cooper Prue, Thomas Irwin, and also Andy Couture and Evan Nichols, who will be minding the pipes for them as well. And it seems that the Thunderbirds minor midget AAA will be announcing 2 other players for the defensive side, but it seems that their captain was announced, and that is Jake Matire on defense, and the assistant captains Tyler Dunbar, also other assistant captain Stefan Pashishny, and also that is all that we have. Oh, Gavin Ridico. Sorry, reading that as we go here. So Rataco. See, thank you, Trevor. There you go. There you go. But we will make sure we get those names perfected as the season goes on. But those congratulations to those players. Those are good moments in their lives that you have to enjoy. Yours truly, I can tell you right now, you can ask my friends, and you probably even ask Trevor. I like to reminisce on the past a little bit, and I use that when I go talk on radio because I like to state experiences. So enjoy the moment while you can, because it's very, very rare that you have enjoyable moments like this. The times and the friendships that you gain with your friends, especially when it comes to hockey with the Sioux Thunderbirds organization, you definitely have to, absorb those moments and never take it for granted. And if you want to play higher level hockey, you have the right people at the helm, especially with Trevor Zachary and crew here at the brewery, and also the owners with the Sioux Thunderbirds organization, even with Jamie Henderson. I'll let him know as well that they work hard for the community of hockey, and with those type of individuals at the helm, it makes it what it is in presence-wise, and we as a community support these teams and support these kids to make them, push forward and to reach their dreams of being hockey players. I definitely know that I will never forget my moments that I had, especially with the Thunderbirds. Despite how my hockey career ended, there always sometimes is an ending, so you got to make sure you enjoy it. So now, quickly, I'm going to jump in, Trevor. Last thing with the brewery here and with the Sioux Thunderbirds. In general, on location here, we will have, in September, we'll have Thunderbirds players come on. And also, we'll have the presence at the rink and all that with the Sioux Thunderbirds and here at the brewery. But anything in terms of that you want to get into that you may have missed, or any comments you want to go to the listeners involving the Thunderbirds or the brewery before we let you go?
Yeah, you know what? With regards to the brewery, we're doing a pile of different things. This summer's been a great one. Weather has certainly helped. When it's hot, people like to drink beer, so that's great when you run a brewery. So, yeah, we have some upcoming events. I mean, every Friday we do local live entertainment, which is awesome, either inside the tap room or out on the Pier 55. We've partnered with local radio and Joe Sports. We have a big event September 8th at the Marconi, where we're going to do a food pairing event and have all the local guys who played in the tap room. They're going to play at the Marconi for us, so that's going to be a cool event. And then August 24th, we have an event at the Sioux Golf Club here in Sioux, Canada. We're doing calling it Birdies and Brew. It's a 9-hole event. It's going to be a par 3 event. They're announcing it, I think, tomorrow. Anyone can sign up. You certainly don't have to be a member, and that's the nice part with the Sioux Golf Club now. Anyone can play there, so that's kind of cool. So, like I said, 9-hole event. There's going to be beer on 3 different holes. There's going to be food pairing on 3 different holes. It's going to be a cool event. Yeah, so we're all really looking forward to it. Get a team signed up for that, and that's when I've been working with Andre L'Italian and their board, and so we're excited about that one as well. So, yeah, little events here and there. Giovanni says their 40th anniversary. We're going to help them out on the 19th of August. So, yeah, here and there, it's about the community for us, and that's really what it comes down to, and for the brewery as well for the hockey team. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand, with regards to trying to get the community's support as much as possible. So we'll keep doing it, and I appreciate this time and the support, guys.
You know what, we should be thanking you and the brewery the most. We're definitely glad to be a part of here with the brewery. And those are some great events. I think I'm looking over across the table here at Matt, and I'm saying that 9 holes, in par 3, maybe my game. And I'm on holidays that week that it's on, so I probably will be signing up. So make sure that you sign up as well. So thanks for Trevor coming by. We're going to have Trevor on, throughout the show sporadically, throughout the summer editions that we have here and into September, and obviously with the players as well. So you're going to get to know Trevor's voice as well here on the Game Sports Show. So I'm going to quickly jump into here the Sioux Greyhounds. There's not too much to update in terms of the Sioux Greyhounds. However, Brad Kochmela did state to announce that we will have some updates with the Sioux City Greyhounds going into next week's show here with Brad and Justin here at the brewery. It's been relatively quiet right now. However, it's bound to pick up. So that's a little teaser here of the Game Sports Show. I don't know what that means. Brad won't tell me what that means. But you know what? Sometimes secrets are better kept. So we'll wait for that news to be hopefully as we get closer to training camp time with the Sioux City Greyhounds, which is also just around the corner as well. And obviously looking forward to working with the Sioux Greyhounds this year as well, with a lot of presence at games and player interviews as well. Steve McKaig here at the brewery saying thanks to Trevor Zachary for coming on by here for the introduction portion, part 1 of the show here, August the 5th, 2018. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be, like I said, still yours truly, talking a little bit of NHL news before we get into our final break, where we're going to talk a little bit about the Blue Jays. So don't go anywhere. You're You're listening to The Game Sports Show.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sports Center Bar and Grill. Sports Center Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sports Center rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sports Center, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sports Center Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
Hi, this is Joe Bowen, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show from Sault Ste. Marie.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It is yours truly, David McKay, here live on location at Nolans Beer Brewery on 50 Pym Street. And you know what? As we had Trevor Zachary on at the introduction portion, I want to say thanks again for Trevor for coming on by here. We're going to have him on much throughout the year and much throughout here with Northern Superior edition of the Game Sports Show. But as I said at the beginning, I love this saying. In the words of Jason Derulo, riding solo this show, as Justin Heichel and Brad Cochimilio have, I like to say, taken vacation days today. They use up their unpaid vacation days here. But it's good. We have a lot of news that we're going to cover, especially on the NHL front. Then you're going to have yours truly's reaction on the Toronto Blue Jays trade, especially with Roberto Osuna. Not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it at all, this little teaser. But we're going to jump in on the NHL side of things. We're going to talk about William Karlsson, the Ottawa Senators, Jeff Skinner, and the Sabres being a little bit busy this offseason, along with those St. Louis Blues being quite busy. And also, I want to discuss the top 10 players at the showcase that the NHL.com has rated, and also some Toronto Maple Leaf discussion, the topic that I always bring up with the Leafs, and I'm happy that Justin's not here to give me a left hook to the chops. I want to bring up the captain point, but also rumors that Toronto needs defense. I like the picture that was posted on social media. The Leafs have a big, muscular upper body, but a low, skinny lower body towards their defense, and their feet are massive because they have a good goaltender in Frederik Andersen. So to jump right into it, though, I want to talk about William Karlsson. William Karlsson has signed a $5.25 million contract with the Las Vegas Golden Knights, avoiding arbitration. Now, Colin Miller, whom I had on the show on the last week's Silver Creek edition, has stated how great of a teammate William Karlsson is, and just the production that he provided with the Las Vegas Golden Knights this year was absolutely astonishing. The guy had 7 goals and 6 assists with the Columbus Blue Jackets last season. Columbus couldn't wait to get rid of him, and then they end up losing him to the expansion draft. Karlsson had the NHL best 49-plus rating, 43 goals and 78 points, which was third in the best NHL for goals. He was a restricted free agent this year, 15 points in the playoffs, in that Cinderella playoff run by the Las Vegas Golden Knights. I don't even want to call it the Cinderella playoff run. It's a Cinderella season for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. But he had 7 goals, 8 assists in 20 games, ultimately losing to the Washington Capitals, and Alex Ovechkin, who is still probably drunk from the Stanley Cup Finals and the Stanley Cup celebration. And Karlsson was actually originally drafted by the Anaheim Ducks. I just want to say the Anaheim Mighty Ducks still in my head. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because in a few moments I'm going to say why I still want to say Mighty Ducks, especially if you followed the social media page. But the second round, 53rd overall in 2011 is where Karlsson went. So being the second rounder, you do have expectations to make the NHL. And you do have expectations to maybe provide a little bit of impact. But, you know, the pressure, it doesn't amount to as much with the first round. But William Karlsson came in with the Ducks. He's moved on from the Ducks to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus basically said, you're going to be a fourth-line guy. We don't trust you. We don't trust you on this end of the puck. We don't trust you on this end of the ice. And also, ultimately, he gets drafted by Las Vegas. And the reason why Vegas drafted him is because Columbus made a trade with Las Vegas so they wouldn't draft a certain player that hasn't been released. And I don't know what that player is, and I know that's still the big kept secret with Columbus, what the player wanted with Vegas. And basically, Columbus got rid of Karlsson for nothing. And I hope that they're sitting down and upstairs in their management box shaking their head as this guy absolutely lit up the league last year. And having him only for $5.25 million contract extension, avoiding that arbitration, is a steal for Las Vegas, I think. Yes, it is one good year. Who knows what's going to happen next year, but let's highlight something. He's a 25-year-old. He plays center and he plays wing. The guy this year showed the speed, and when he gets given that special teams time, that top line time, he'll provide that output to you. If I was Vegas, I would have gambled and signed him to a 6.5 for 3 years. I would have taken that gamble, and if it doesn't work out, you can ultimately move him and get up a little bit of salary, as teams will gamble on a guy who scored 78 points in a year or two later if he does start to struggle. So William Karlsson, I'm interested to see what the fans have to say about William Karlsson. If you think that he's going to have the same season that he's going to have next year, I know a lot of people are doubting Vegas. I don't think you should doubt these guys. They've already been doubted last year. These second-chance kids have come out and shown what they can do. Yes, they lost James Neal. Yes, they lost David Perron, but I love that addition of Paul Stastny. And William Karlsson is going to come back next year and put up maybe not 43 goals, but I guarantee he'll score 30-plus, and he'll he'll definitely be well underpaid, for that $5.25 million contract. Vegas should be locking him up as soon as possible. Now, with another team I'm going to move on who had to open up their wallets, the Ottawa Senators. Boy, did they have to open up their wallets to Mark Stone. $7.3 million with the arbitration they opened up for, and Cody Ceci, $4.3 million to Ceci. Let me get some facts out here to you. Cody Ceci was a minus 27 last year with 5 goals and 14 assists. That's like Dion Phaneuf numbers. So I got to say, with Cody Ceci, $4.3 million, I don't know if he's worth 4.3, to be honest. I'm on the fence. I think he's 3.5. Maybe around that area. I don't know if that 4.3 is a big impact. $300,000 can make or break you signing somebody in free agency. But a lot of people don't understand that. So, like Cody Ceci, I think was this 1 year. That's fine for the Senators to bite because they should be trading Erik Karlsson by any day now. And if they don't trade him, I think that's an absolute joke in itself, as Karlsson should not be back with the Ottawa Senators next year, despite how big of a player he is. But we don't have to jump into that topic because that's another story in itself. Sticking with Ceci, definitely I think 4.3 is a little too much that he was awarded in arbitration, and the Ottawa Senators should definitely explore moving Cody Ceci, as I feel he had a rough year last year. But if you move Erik Karlsson, can you afford to move Cody Ceci? The balance there, you have to give money to a player if you want someone to stay there. So it depends how his season goes. I actually advise the Ottawa Senators, if they can't sign him by the deadline, trade him by the deadline. Mark Stone, now there's the one topic I want to jump into. Originally a 6th-round pick of the Ottawa Senators, had 20 goals and 42 assists this year. Now, he gets $7.35 million in arbitration. James Van Riemsdyk had almost 40 goals, and he had more points than Mark Stone, and he gets $7 million from the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, these wingers are getting an obnoxious amount of money. I don't understand how one could fathom that JVR is going to be worth that money 5 years from now. I'm sorry. I'm happy the Leafs didn't sign JVR, not because of the guy that he is, because he definitely was an asset to the organization, but I like what James Neal signed in Calgary. $5.75 for a handful of years with the Calgary Flames, just under a handful of years, I should say. So and at that point, James Neal is going to be almost 33, 34 years old. He walks, he moves on, that's done. The Flyers get to keep JVR until he's 33. Yes, they keep him long term, but is he really going to bring out that output that he had in Toronto? Wayne Simmons already has that presence in the front of the net. Why now you have JVR on the other power play unit? Is he going to do that? Now going back to Mark Stone, he has that same presence that JVR brings in the power play. He parks his rear end in front of the net, and he gets those dirty goals, and he's not shy to go in the areas. However, who's a better forward on the Ottawa Senators than Mark Stone? Not Bobby Ryan. I know people look at Bobby Ryan. The guy's making north of $7 million too, and the Ottawa Senators are trying to trade that contract with Karlsson, which is why they probably haven't been able to move Karlsson. The Senators should probably sit back and just move Karlsson, keep Bobby Ryan and Stone there so they keep some faces in the organization. And also you got Tkachuk moving up the rankings. You got Colin White, who I love. I'm a big fan of White. Senators have some good prospects coming up. I like what they drafted this year. This offseason, though, is starting to deteriorate and descend into the bad direction. I know arbitration, you can't help it with RFAs. You got to pay those certain amount. That they have to pay something for the arbitration, but at the end of the day, a little too much for these type of players. With Mark Stone, I think it's the best that you consider even moving him at the deadline. Now, a lot of people are going to think that's crazy, but I think it's time to do full kibosh on the Ottawa Senators. Jeff Skinner, moving on to that, got traded to the Buffalo Sabres. He waived his no-trade clause, was traded for Cliff Poo and 3 picks, 2019 second, 2020 third and sixth, 24 goals, 49 points last year, 2011 Rookie of the Year, and over the past 3 seasons, Jeff Skinner is 7th in the NHL with 74 even-strength goals. Fun fact. Now, that's big, especially for the Buffalo Sabres, as they can't buy offense. Now, with having Jack Eichel there, who's changed his number back to 9, I like to say that he's the president, coach, and GM of the Buffalo Sabres. However, we know that is not true realistically. But now Eichel has a pretty good winger to play with. But Jeff Skinner last year had a little bit of an off season. So now with Jeff Skinner being there to go to the Buffalo Sabres, it says a lot that he's going to trust what the Buffalo Sabres direction is going. This is a team that has had a heck of a change this offseason. They moved out O'Reilly to the St. Louis Blues. They brought in Berglund, Sabaka. They also traded with the Pittsburgh Penguins, bringing Connor Sherry. They signed Carter Hutton to try to balance out that goaltending debacle that they have in Buffalo. Also, they drafted Rasmus Dahlin. So definitely a big offseason by the Buffalo Sabres. However, getting Jeff Skinner, will that help their immediate needs? No, but it'll definitely help them in the future going forward with this rebuild. I think they got a good winger, and I honestly think that it was a steal. Cliff Poo, I'm a big fan of him, but those 2nd, 3rd, and 6th, I think that's lower value. I think Carolina could have maybe got a first out of the Buffalo Sabres out of that pick. Maybe. I know you could have had it lottery protected, then used it the following year. I think that could have been a trade that the Carolina Hurricanes could have squeezed out. But it'd be interesting to see what you think as the listeners if Jeff Skinner was underpaid for the trade or overpaid. I'm definitely going with underpaid. Now, the NHL.com has released a page on the top 10 players at Showcase. And that was the showcase. And now these are going to be a lot of showcases for the 2019 World Junior roster spots. A lot of players that they stuck out. And a big fan that I know that Brad Kutchmiller is a fan of. And Noah Dobson, who was drafted by the New York Islanders, had a strong performance that they think are going to be those top 10, one of the top 10 players. Joel Farabee of the United States, who was drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers. Jack Hughes, who a lot of people are comparing to be the next Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid already before even the season has started. But he's 2019 NHL draft eligible, probably going to be going first overall. Quentin Hughes was also on that list as well. United States player, was drafted by the Vancouver Canucks. Rasmus Kupari, Finland Los Angeles Kings. Now a lot of people in the Sioux know that name as he is a part of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds have his rights, so it'll be interesting to see if he's going to be playing overseas or if he's going to take his talents to Major Junior. Isaac Lundstrom from Sweden, he's drafted by the Anaheim Ducks. Jay O'Brien, also drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers. Also Matthias Samuelsson for the Buffalo Sabres, who was drafted there. The Ty Smith for Team Canada, he would be playing for, was drafted by the New Jersey Devils. Aaron Talvidi from Finland, also drafted by New Jersey as well on there. And a lot of honorable mentions. You got Paul Corder, you got Lucas Elvins, and you also have Alex Fumerton. You also have Rickard Haig, and you definitely cannot forget about Joshua Norris, who I'm actually a fan of who played for the United States, who was drafted by the San Jose Sharks. A lot of players on this top 10 drafted by either the New Jersey Devils or drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers. Definitely a lot of good prospects coming up in those pools, which is why, again, I must go back to why the Philadelphia Flyers put a long-term commitment to JVR when maybe they could have stuck that commitment to Claude Giroux and made sure they kept Wayne Simmons around because they have a lot of good young prospects coming up, and they already have a lot of good young prospects playing in Provenov and Shane Gostisbehere. Other topic I want to jump into is with the Toronto Maple Leafs discussion here quickly. 2 points, bringing up the captain point again. I want to say that people are asking why the Leafs don't have a captain this year. They haven't had a captain in over 3 years. And now you bring in John Tavares. You have Austin Matthews, who's the future face of this organization still, along with it'll be a two-headed monster, obviously, with Matthews and Tavares going forward. But a lot of people are wondering who I think will still be the captain, and a lot of people I got a lot of reaction from people, with my previous show saying that I thought Patrick Marleau should be the captain of Maple Leafs, and I'm sticking by that. A lot of individuals think that they brought in Tavares, that he should be given the C, or they should just throw it on Austin Matthews. Now, people that are saying they should throw it on Austin Matthews, that's crazy. The kid is going into his third year, and he's still young. He hasn't been around a lot of leaders unless their name is Ron Hainsey or Jake Gardner. And Ron Hainsey being the older one. So, he hasn't had a lot of older players who have been captains or who have been that. Now, Patrick Marleau, who got brought in last year, I think it's a good pace for Matthews to be around those type of guys. But I think that the Leafs do need to get a captain in place this year, and I don't think it should be John Tavares. It shouldn't be Matthews. It should definitely be Patrick Marleau. He's had a C in San Jose. He can handle the pressure. He's retiring in a year, if not 2. So you give him the C. You allow Tavares to grow in that locker room. You allow him to become accustomed with the Leafs organization. And I think he ultimately gets a C after Marleau leaves. Matthews will get given an A for a lot of years until Tavares leaves. When Tavares leaves in 7 years, Matthews will be 28. It'll be perfect for Matthews to get given the C because when he turns 28, that'll be when his next contract extension is. So you offer him the C in his contract extension, and one of the biggest hockey meccas of the world, you'll make him stay. Don't forget, it's always a business. Marleau should be given the C, Tavares A, Matthews A, and Morgan Riley should round out those A's, or give one between Matthews and Hainsey to switch around, as well as Hainsey, as I feel, should be given a letter for being a Stanley Cup winner and being in the league for many years, and this will probably be his last year in the National Hockey League. Now, I must remind the listeners here before going to our break, the trivia question that was on the previous Silver Creek edition. I know Trevor Zachary is going to like this question. What was the best season that the Sioux Thunderbirds had to date, to franchise date? I need you to state the record, the amount of points, and for bonus, you also got to state the roster of that team. You have to email the Game Sports Show, ssm@gmail.com. Again, the question is, what year to date the Thunderbirds have their best season to franchise date. State the record of that year, the points, and copy and paste the roster if you have to, because it is on HockeyDB. It's on previous Thunderbird websites. It is available for you to copy and paste and attach to the Game Sports Show, ssm@gmail.com email. And what do you get if you win that? You get a free round of golf at Silver Creek Golf Course. And for the bonus prize, there's going to be a bonus prize on behalf of the Game Sports Show that will be given to you as well, that will not be released until the announcement of the winner. And we will be announcing that winner this Tuesday at Silver Creek Golf Course. As yours truly, Brad Cochimilio and Justin Hike, will be at Silver Creek this Tuesday, August the 7th at approximately 5:30 p.m. with the recording of the show getting underway at 6. Is Dave McCaig here I was alongside Matt Lematanga. He just left, so he wanted to say sayonara to the listeners. And I obviously still got Trevor Zachary in the background, and we're here with Scott Nason in the background as well. And to you, the listeners, thanks for coming on by so far to this point. We still have one more part of the show we have to jump into, and that is the Blue Jays update. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Game Sports Show.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsioux.as.me-. The Salon, making the Sioux beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Sioux Pee Wee Pro Shop. The Sioux Pee Wee Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Sioux Pee Wee Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Sioux Pee Wee Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Hi, I'm Brendan Brooks, professional hockey player. You're listening to the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. Yours truly, David McCaig, and as I said twice now, in the words of Jason Derulo, riding solo here at Northern Superior Brewing Company in Sault Ste. Marie on 50 Pimp Street for our launch show for the Game Sports Show at the Brewing Company. As you know, we talked a lot on the show, a lot of show that you've been a part of here. You've had Trevor Zachary talking to local hockey presence. We also talked a little NHL news, but now we're going to get towards the saddest part of the show, which is the conclusion portion. I know you, the listeners, who would love to hear another 2-hour edition of the Game Sports Show that was just put on last week. However, no, there are time constraints that we have to follow. And right now, based on the amount of time availability that we have, I'm jumping in right away here to the Toronto Blue Jays. I've said this on the show numerous times, that the Blue Jays year, I predicted a wild card finish. That's where I had the Blue Jays this year. Obviously, I am incorrect at this current point, which I like to say is a rarity, but the 92-93 World Series champions will not be going in for a chance to get a 2018-2019 championship, as right now they're 51-59, and they're well back of a wild card, and I'd like to say that they're basically out, but you're never officially out until you get unbolded. In the world of baseball, anything can happen, but the 51-59 Toronto Blue Jays play against the Seattle Mariners here today at 4:10 is first pitch. Here on the Sunday, the 63-48 Mariners are hopefully going to be playoff bound in one of those wild card spots. It seems like they have a chance to land into. So definitely the Toronto Blue Jays have been moving on a lot of individuals in the last few days, and also getting a lot of young guys chances to play and pitch, and everyone's waiting for that one day that Vlad Jr. gets the call up. However, I hope it's just a brief call up, as I still think he needs another full season after this year in the minors. You can't rush young talent in the league. So I got to jump in, though, and talk about the reaction of the Toronto Blue Jays, not just the season, because you can listen to the previous edition of the Game Sports Show about my reaction with the Blue Jays season, how I feel that it's been a disappointing year, especially on the pitching end. However, I want to jump into the transactions with the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the Toronto Blue Jays made some moves at the deadline and some moves that they didn't make. Moves that they didn't make, Marco Estrada and Josh Donaldson. Those are two individuals that were not moved. Now, it's not going to say that those players are not going to be moved, because the non-waiver deadline they can put through and they can make a trade in August. And I think that is going to be the plan, it seems, for Josh Donaldson, as it seems on social media. It seems from Sportsnet. I'm stealing that quote from as well. I've got to give credit for Sportsnet for that one. But with Josh Donaldson moving him, I was very upset in the previous edition of the Game Sports Show because they didn't move him. Now, when you're hurt, though, you want to try. You can't. It's hard to move someone. They're on the DL. They're not playing. A lot of teams won't take a gamble on it, especially for a rental player potentially. So for Donaldson to maybe come back, play a couple games, put him on the non-waiver deadline, then move him to get something for him, I think that is going to be priority for Shapiro and Atkins of the Toronto Blue Jays. So I'm going to wait and see before I get even more mad about them not moving Donaldson. However, Marco Estrada, who was reinstated from the DL July the 31st. They could have made a trade for Marco Estrada. Yes, he hasn't been great this year like he has in previous years, but he has a deadly changeup. And Marco Estrada, but not getting moved, is very, very foolish. You have to get something for this guy. He can be even used out of the bullpen of a team. Obviously not the New York Yankees, because their bullpen is too stacked to begin with. But there's teams out there that can definitely use Marco Estrada if they're not going to put him in the starting rotation. But it'd be very hard to see a team not put Marco Estrada in the rotation, as his playoff performances have already spoke for itself as well. But with Marco Estrada not getting dealt, he better be put on that no waiver deadline, or I feel that is an absolute failure as well. Donaldson and Estrada need to get moved. Hashtag move Donaldson and Estrada. I think that's what I want to start here on the Game Sports Show, because I am all for this future of the Toronto Blue Jays, especially when it's led by Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette. I cannot believe the amount of talent that they still have in the system, especially what they traded for to get Price and Price and Tulowitzki. They moved Hoffman in that Tulowitzki trade. So I must say, get these young guys getting into the lineup. You have Smith playing. The Billy McKinley move with the New York Yankees. He's a good prospect. Get these young guys in that lineup. And also these depth guys like with Diaz, with Solarte. These young guys having that second chance, I'd like to say. You definitely give those guys in the lineup. And Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is an absolute beast. I like seeing these young guys coming up. It's very exciting. But individuals saying that they should move Sanchez or Stroman, I literally want to pick you up and throw you out of a window. I must say that with all due respect, because Aaron Sanchez is dominant and so is Stroman. I don't care about every year that they're having. They will get their act together. They're athletes. They're intense athletes. Those are the face of the pitching rotation that we can solidify going forward with the Toronto Blue Jays. And we have a lot of young blood coming up as well. So stick with the pitching. That's fine. It's already a wasted of a year, it seems, in my opinion. I'm saying professionally that you just let this year play out, look at what the offseason is, reevaluate, and if you didn't make any moves in the season that you should have made, maybe towards Kendrys Morales in particular, maybe you would think of making additional moves if the right is there for the trade. But moving Stroman and Sanchez is not the right thing. Hashtag move Donaldson and Estrada. I'm sticking with that. Now, the trades that did happen, they traded John Axford to the Dodgers for a couple prospects. They designated Oliver Drake for assessment, who was ultimately picked up by the Minnesota Twins. As I said in previous shows, they moved Seung-Won Oh to the Colorado Rockies. And, you know, with some of these moves, there were some moves that they had to make. Some expiring contracts, except again, hashtag Estrada, Donaldson get moved. We have to say right now those are the guys that have to go, but the expiring contracts with O and also with Axford moving out, those guys are good moves by Blue Jays to bring in some prospects. We never know what they're going to turn out to be. Maybe this Corey Copping guy turns out to be the next Andrew Miller out of the bullpen. You never know with prospects. It's a great gamble, and it makes sense for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the one trade I want to jump into right now that has really got me fired up. If anyone knows me as an individual and being a baseball fan and an individual who actually plays open baseball here in Sault Ste. Marie for this SMBA, Roberto Osuna getting traded to the Houston Astros. Not a fan of this trade. I know I'm going to say flat out that he has that sexual harassment and sexual assault issues that are going around, circling around Toronto. And I'm sure that he was traded because I'm sure the girl has a restraining order or something towards it. And she lives in Toronto and she's not going to move. And I'm sure he had to move because he's in the Toronto location. He had to be out of her area of spectrum. I'm sure that's one of the reasons why that they won't say, obviously. But I still think if that is not the reason, if they just traded Roberto Osuna just for fun, I like to say just for fun, professionally speaking. But if they did just move him because they felt that he needed to, that is the absolute dumbest thing I would almost ever heard. Ken Giles, yes, he was a great closer a couple years ago for the Astros. And yes, he's a World Series champion. David Paulino and Hector Perez, good prospects as well. I'm not saying that what they got in return is not bad, but Roberto Osuna is the youngest closer ever to reach 100 saves. A lot of people don't think of that. He is intense. He is a fan favorite. He loves the city of Toronto. He has battled a lot of mental health issues as well that he has dealt with in Toronto. He's made Toronto part of his home, and that's what makes him as good of an athlete that he is. And there's a player that I wanted to see be the next Mariano Rivera, but in Toronto Blue Jays uniform. Not saying he would have broke Mariano Rivera's records, because that's very, very, very far. But Roberto Osuna, I think, could have made a presence with the Blue Jays, had a long-term career there, and ultimately could have been that guy in the ninth inning, leading them to win the World Series. Closing out that game, turning around, doing his little cross and kissing the sky. I can picture that excitement, seeing him do that. That's what I love with Osuna, his intensity, and he loved Toronto. Now, again, I'll go back to if this trade had to happen, then sure, it makes sense. But again, trading him if you had to just because it was absolute stupidity. And I feel Osuna is a big part of that bullpen. He was the only exciting thing of that bullpen and almost one of the only exciting things of Toronto's roster this year, next to, well, Stroman and Sanchez. Stroman obviously not playing well this year, though. But Osuna is one of the guys that had on the Jays being one of their, if not their best players. Now, they did move Giles, who did reach his first save with the Toronto Blue Jays this weekend. So I'm not saying the players they got were bad, like I said. But again, Osuna getting moved, I'm very fired up about. I'd like to get the listeners' reaction on Roberto Osuna getting moved because I know he was a fan favorite. And I'm happy I didn't order that Roberto Osuna t-shirt last month that I was actually going to order because I believe that he was going to come back and be better than even ever than he was before. But now he gets a fresh start in Houston, and he's going to absolutely run the show up in Houston. I guarantee you when Houston gets back to the World Series this year, because I feel they are going to beat the Yankees or the Red Sox to get there, Osuna might be that guy closing out that game in the bottom of the ninth to win the World Series. Now, yes, I had that picture for the Blue Jays, remember, but maybe my deja vu will be towards that he was actually on the Astros doing that. So I'm interested to see what you as listeners think about Osuna getting dealt, and do you think that Houston has acquired the best closer in the league? I'm going to say yes. I really think that he is. That's not being biased. I still think Osuna is the best closer in the league. He's one of the youngest closers in the league, if not the youngest, and he has shown that he is a proven winner and competitor, and I wish Roberto Osuna the best of luck going forward, and I hope you absolutely kill it in Houston, and I hope you come to Toronto once more next year, or this year, whatever, and I hope you close out every game that you go into to see the mistake that Atkins and Shapiro had to do. But again, if Shapiro and Atkins had to do it based on this police incident with the assault and harassment, then okay, it's understandable. But if you did make a trade based on, hey, just for fun, I don't like that. Don't like it at all. Now, that's going to do it for more of the Major League Baseball and Toronto Blue Jays, and based on the time that we have here on the game. I must say, I will give a shout out to local baseball here. Yours truly had his 5-game hitting streak snapped last game for the Renegades as we played the Hellcats, and we ultimately lost 12-8, dropping our record to 2 games below 500, and we've actually lost over 3 straight, losing second place now, dropping to third place in the league. As this week, the Renegades are at Ram Field playing the Donuts. I'd like to give a shout out to the local open baseball leagues. Get out and enjoy the local baseball front as well. There's a lot of good talent with the Black Sox out there, and also this men's open league. If you're interested to play in some men's open league baseball, make sure you reach out to Jeff Mills on Facebook. He will definitely direct you, and it's very affordable to play. It only costs $190 for the year. You get 12 games plus playoffs, which could be 1 to 3 games. So definitely, if you want to play some baseball, sign up and play. It's 1 game a week, either on Tuesdays or Thursdays, make-up games on Sundays. And obviously, come out and enjoy yours truly as I try to embark on another hitting streak, as I ultimately actually had a 5-game hitting streak going into last game, and I lost my leadoff spot. The lineup, Andre LaFrancois, whom is our IT guy for the Game Sports Show, as everyone knows, who runs the team, pulled me out of leadoff and made me bat 7th. So after that absolute incident, Andre, I must say, you had me batting leadoff. I had a 5-game hitting streak, and you put me 7th in the order. Where's your head at, man? That's a bad, bold move. I know TSN and Sportsnet had a lot of reaction to that move. So, and here on the game, we obviously have a lot of reaction to that as well. So maybe I'll start another hashtag. Put McCaig back to leadoff. Just saying, with me leadoff, you're actually 500. With me not leadoff, you're below 500. The exact record of you being below with me not leadoff is 1-4. Just saying. Fun fact Tuesday. Or no, fun fact Tuesday. Fun fact Sunday. Fun fact Sunday, as I was thinking about Tuesday, as that's when we play the Donuts, and that'll be at 8:30. So come on out and enjoy some baseball there if you want to come on to see it. There'll be a lot of Little League baseball going on there as well, as Strathclair is always busy. Now, I know that's some good fun poke we like to have with men's open baseball. It's is very fun. So if you have any updates you want to provide with the local baseball front, feel free to comment below or reach out to the Game Sports Show on our email. We will be having Ashley Hoff and Jordan Trudeau. I call him Justin Trudeau actually at the ball field sometimes because he has great hair. But his name is actually Jordan Trudeau. They do coach Sioux minor baseball with the Black Sox, and we do plan to have them on either live on location here at Northern Superior Brewery or at Silver Creek Golf Course. One of each to do an interview or even at least a phone interview to get some reaction on the local baseball front here in Sault Ste. Marie and the development of the baseball here in Sault Ste. Marie. As you know, that is a growing and ascending sport here in Sault Ste. Marie, and it has to be continuing that way. And you got to give thanks to Blue Jays with that too. The Blue Jays had a lot of strong last couple of years. Their popularity has spiked here for baseball, and you got to make sure you listen to that interview as Ashley Hoff and Jordan Trudeau will be providing some good updates in the world of local baseball here in Sault Ste. Marie, which is our primary goal here on the Game Sports Show, is to really promote the local sports, as obviously the professional sports get the publicity that they already get, but make sure we have that local presence. And here on the game, we'll have your updates to you for Black Sox baseball as well, and obviously Renegades and Men's Open baseball. Now, here with the Game Sports Show, getting towards the end of the show here, I want to say thanks again to Trevor Zachary for coming on by and being in the presence here of our launch show for the Northern Superior Brewery edition of the Game Sports Show. Matt Lemontagna, who volunteers his time for the Game Sports Show, who obviously I didn't get on microphone because, as you can probably tell, Trevor, I'm not going to get him on microphone. He's louder than I am, for Christ's sake. Shout obviously to Scott Nason, our board operator, as always, and to Producer Ghost. People are wondering who Producer Ghost is. One day, you will be able to find out what Producer Ghost is and who that person is. Guy, girl, dog, you don't know what it's going to be for who Producer Ghost is going to be. And I'm going to repeat here quickly the agenda for this week. Tomorrow we'll be at the Wicked Sister, myself, Scott Nason, and Butch Davis from the Telegram News in Detroit. Also, Katie Wolin and EJ Russell will be there as well. Tuesday, myself, Brad, and Justin will be at Silver Creek Golf Course. Next Sunday, we will be here at the Brewery Company on August the 12th. And hopefully yours truly still has a mind to function after a weekend away in London for a wedding. But all seriousness, we'll be back here on the 12th. We hope to have some interviews and some presence there as well. We'll be talking about the professional hockey and baseball front as well. And going forward, I want to say thanks to North Superior Brewery for having us on again, as we will be having them be our main spot here on the Game Sports Show, especially in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, where in September we will be starting. And our first show that we are projecting to start will be after the Labor Day long weekend, which would be September the 6th is where we're projecting to announce. That would be one game before the Sioux Thunderbirds drop the puck against the Sioux Eagles. So that definitely seems like the projected date. So mark that down in your calendars, and obviously mark down the future shows for the Game Sports Show going forward. And make sure you keep it tuned here on thegamesportshow.podbean.com or www.thegamesportshow.com. Make sure to follow us as well on the Podbean page, and make sure to share our show on Facebook, and make sure to follow the Sioux Thunderbirds and Northern Superior Brewing Company's Facebook page and Instagram page as well. The Game Sports Show has an Instagram page as well at the Game Sports Show SSM. It has just been launched. There's a lot of edits that we're going to be doing with it, but make sure you follow it because we'll be announcing what our show agenda is going to be, some professional sports and local sports updates on there as well. Now, until tomorrow, get into the usual conclusion portion that everyone has grown to love. Keep your stick on the ice, swing your bat, catch your touchdown, drain your threes, and shoot your shots. Booyah.